kid in the video here. You guys ever get a chance to actually check out this video? It's a good video. But it's Aerosmith, so what do you want? So we're not going to do your Major League Baseball update, so I'll need to put a different. Yeah, that makes sense. And actually, that's when I had it, was MLB update right before we did that. So I'll just cut that out, and we'll just do my NHL, and then welcome back and go back into the MLB playoffs. And like I said, I'm gonna do mine live tonight because I didn't get a chance to record them. So this will be interesting.
It's kind of like I don't know if you remember in the 80s, they would always sit there every once in a while. Cheers went live, so all the bloopers were actually happening.
Yeah.
I'm using Cheers as an example. I don't think they ever did it. But
I think, well, what's his name? Bruce Hooley does it every morning. If you listen to 105.7 in the morning, he'll be talking about an issue, and all of a sudden he'll just tie it in with the commercial that needed to play, and he'll just do the commercial live. I'm like, holy cow, dude. How do you do that? I'm about to find out if I can.
And today, on the Iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK show.
But you can talk in the background to your people on your thing and do whatever you're doing, because that's what we do in the commercial anyway. So it's not gonna change anything. Yep, a couple minutes late tonight, folks, but that's okay. The DiAmOnDbAcK was here. Do you have water tonight, or?
Right there, I got your smart water. It's not going to make you any smarter, but...
Oh, damn. What a bummer. You got any Jolly Ranchers?
I got Mike and Ike's tonight.
Okay, well, we'll stick with the water and see if that gets me through these 2 hours. I've been coughing off and on. I actually am going to see the ear, throat, and nose specialist in the morning. I might have a little touch of asthma.
Yeah, I'm going. I went today and got my eyes checked. I am getting a pair of glasses. Yay me. He's like, "Do you want to wear contacts?" Hell no.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Huh?" I was like, "I can't touch my eye."
I know. I had
this. It took you how many times to do the little poof of air in my eye?
I know. I'd be like, that would freak. I don't know if I could do the whole contact thing.
I've had jet fuel, gasoline, diesel, fuel, dirt, sand, shit, anything, everything in my eye. Got no fingers, no fingers.
Not even yours, right?
My eye closes automatically. Ooh, look, no. It was funny because there's like a little poof of air. Open your eye real wide. This is all you're getting.
You never want to hear that. Is that all, Billy? Well, I mean, I feel bad for Billy because I've never heard that. So cans are working. That's good.
I was just he was asking about everything.
Speaking of your cans.
Yeah, they're right here.
Well, okay. You gonna be a professional tonight or just sit there?
I want to sit here like a bump on a log.
Okay. Billy, call anytime. Call me anytime. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the Ferocious Money Productions presents the Iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show. Better late than never. As far as that goes, how was your week, DiAmOnDbAcK? How you doing?
It was there.
It was there? Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, not professional tonight.
I'm not hearing you either, but that's okay. We'll get through the night one way or the other here as far as all that goes. So, anyhow, but yeah, a pretty good week overall. I'm starting to get over this cough a little bit. Going to get an allergy check in the morning and see what's going on.
Awesome.
So we'll get that taken care of.
It's always a good thing to get yourself checked out. As I said, I had the eye appointment today. And, had the nice eyes widen there, the pupils. What is that? Dilated.
Dilated. Yeah.
Going, I don't like this. It's been forever since I've had that. So Laura played Uber driver for me for a little bit.
There you go. Well, thank God for Laura. That's a good thing. But Yeah, this will be the last time we do a late show. We're going to do 7 to 10 starting back next week.
Awesome.
And it's because of my son's game tonight. It was going well because when I left with about 3.5 minutes to go, the Hilliard Heritage Panthers were ahead of the Hilliard Memorial Jaguars 42-20 in an 8th grade game. So it was going well for our Panthers there. Did not bring my hat tonight. It's down in my car. Because as you can clearly see, I went and saw Todd.
Yeah, saw Todd.
Yeah, I went and saw Todd the barber on Saturday. Got a haircut. Feeling a lot better. I like it when my hair is aerodynamic. It's a good thing. So it just makes it easier going through the wind.
That's what aerodynamic usually means.
There you go. Well, I was explaining it to you in case you didn't know there, Diamondback.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Well, I got to keep you.
I bought you smart water for
I got to keep you in the loop. I know. I stopped aerodynamic already. I've had 2 sips of smart water. I'm loving life. This is good. So, yeah. But we got some things to talk about here in the opening. So we usually talk about the Ohio teams in the opening.
There's teams in Ohio?
There's teams in Ohio. Well, you want to know.
Really?
Yeah, you definitely ought to know. Hey, Dave, how's it going, buddy? So we got Dave on Facebook already following us. Yeah, my good buddy Dave, who I haven't met yet, but he's a good buddy already.
Nobody on my LMS.
Well, it might be down a little bit this week, just due to the start time.
Yeah, it's start time.
So we're gonna not worry about numbers this week. We're just gonna have fun with the show.
Awesome.
How about that? So yeah, you ought to know there's an Ohio team. Bengals beat the Falcons 37-36. Next, they get the Dolphins this coming Sunday at 1 o'clock. So the Bengals got that win. We'll talk more about that game later, I'm sure, in the NFL segment of the show. By the way, folks, tonight we are going to talk about the MLB playoffs. We're going to discuss whether or not the one-game playoff is a good thing, a good idea or not, or whether it should be expanded. Wearing a Cubs shirt, I might be giving away how I feel about this subject, but we will get to that later on in that MLB segment when we do that. So, meanwhile, moving on with the Ohio teams, the Browns lose to the Raiders, but they lost in overtime, 45-42. So the Browns are competing. Played with them well.
I'm actually
played with them
a
well.
little bit of respect for the Browns. It's kind of hard to say that and have a straight face at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially after the past couple of years. So that's all I'm basing it on.
Hey, they get the same record as my favorite team, so I can't say anything. And they tied us.
You guys are still tied.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're still tied. So, the Browns lose to the next week they get the Ravens at home. That's the game we'll discuss later when we get to the NFL segment. The Ohio State Buckeyes, one of the best teams in the country, beat Penn State.
Great
on the road, 27-26.
Yeah, I had them done when they went down 2 scores.
I was more than worried at that point. Yes,
especially that late.
Yeah,
and they pulled it off. And my hat's off to them. Both Ohio teams pulled it off late. They're going back to my Falcons there.
Yeah.
No, I did. I had picked Penn State to win that, and in my little pick, within my head there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did, and I thought they had it, and damn it, Ohio State had one heck of a comeback. I absolutely loved the game. I watched that whole game.
Yeah.
Did not fall asleep. Did not.
Well, that was a great football game.
Turn away from it.
Yeah. Next, they get to do homecoming this weekend against Indiana. We'll talk more about that game later when we get to the college segment.
Yeah, but Indiana's undefeated too.
That game's on at 4 o'clock on Fox. So a little preview on that. But 4 p.m. in the afternoon on Fox, IU comes into town to play Ohio State. So the other Ohio college team that we talk about every week, the Ohio University, beat UMass 58-42. How about that? Pretty big win there. Next, they get to go to Kent State. They play that game at 3:30 at Kent State.
Kent State. Should be a good game.
So how about those Bobcats?
Is that what they are, Bobcats?
Yeah, the OU Bobcats. Yeah, my daughter's going to go visit that school here in a week or two and check out whether she wants to go to school there or not.
What's she going?
She wants to go into the. It's a science field kind of, but it's the field of genetics and that type of thing.
Might be a good call.
Yeah.
Might be a good fit.
I'm sure she'll be good at that. I get a feeling Deanna's going to be good at whatever she wants to do. So, I mean, I sound like a dad here, but she's very smart.
Well, you're being respectful to your ex-wife because she's got kind of a brain.
Kind of. Well, between the two of us, one of us had to have it, and she got it. So that's why I'm doing this, because this is not work. See, this is fun. That's what this is. Every week I look forward to it. This is fun. So we just sit here and talk sports. There's nothing hard about that. Oh, by the way, folks, I did forget to mention the hashtag Save the Crew phone line is 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754. Hashtag Save the Crew.
We are on my Facebook page and at LMS.DiAmOnDbAcK, plus my YouTube page as well.
Your YouTube page is down too. They're having a whole...
Okay.
We're having technical issues.
So that's why I was not going to mention the WTMHradio.com tonight. We don't have that site tonight. It's down. We don't have the iconic Drew.
WTMH Radio YouTube page is down.
Oh, okay.
You can go and listen to us on WTMHradio.com.
Oh, that's up. Okay. That's still up. So we still mentioned that tonight. WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine.
Yeah. The Mac is up. The YouTube one, the live streaming is down.
Gotcha. Okay, so speaking of ties, we were talking about ties a few moments ago, and the fact that the Steelers and Browns are still tied.
You're going to talk about
hashtag Save the Crew.
Nice.
Hashtag Save the Crew. That was a good segue. 0-0 tie versus Philadelphia back on 9/29.
Bunch of knots.
And that game was here at Maffrey Stadium. Did you get your butt to that game?
No, I did not get my butt to that game. However, I have had. I'm doing a lot of planning for the wedding, and that's kind of getting in the way.
Blames the wedding. Okay. Well, you only get married once, Jim. So, Diamondback. You only get married once, Diamondback. Unless you're us. So, anyhow.
Wow.
Well, I'm thinking about the third time, possibly, so who knows? It's always possible.
Yeah.
So, I'm saying that now while Dave's watching. I'm friends with Dave because of Carrie. So, because they've been friends for forever. And... yeah, I haven't actually met him yet, but I've talked to him on the phone. Good guy. So, we don't know, but I think I mentioned, but next they're at Montreal. That game's at 3:30, and that's on the 6th, which is Saturday. So, and I don't normally do this on the show, but I just thought of this right now. I'm going to do a birthday shout-out. Don't normally do birthday shout-outs on this show, although we could make it a thing if we wanted to.
Yeah, we do it every once in a while.
My brother's birthday is this coming Monday.
Nice.
So Steve will be, I won't give away his age, because that would give away the iconic Drew's age, so we can't do that. So let's say Steve's a couple years younger than me, but his birthday will be on Monday, and we'll be celebrating that. Unfortunately, I wish the Packers were playing on Monday night, because that would be cool for his birthday, to have a Packer game on his birthday. But the NFL decided not to do that for him. So, and I'm pretty sure Steve's not watching right now because he's probably asleep. Steve is a truck driver and has to get up about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I doubt he's watching the show in any way, shape, or form right now. So, but nonetheless, happy birthday, Steve. Maybe he'll go back later and watch this. And of course, I'm spend some time with him this weekend or early next week for his birthday. So, but we don't normally talk about this subject in the opening. But tonight we're going to, because Tiger Woods, this is for you, Todd the Barber, because we debated this on Saturday when I got my haircut, when I was in there to get my haircut. Managed to pass out a couple cards while I was there. It's a good thing. So, and Todd had stories about his trip to Florida, by the way.
Oh
yes. Yes, you have to go see Todd. Just to sit down and talk.
I've seen Todd before he left. So
yeah, you have to just go back to sit down.
I've
done that.
He was anxious for that trip. He was looking forward to that trip.
Oh yeah, they had a good time. He specifically had a really good time. He had a lot of good stories. So anyway, this is for Todd the Barber. And thanks for sponsoring the show, Todd. We appreciate it.
Yes, Todd, we do.
Tiger Woods is back. He won the Tour Championship on September 23rd.
He wins one damn tournament and people are going nuts.
It's awesome. Tiger's the man.
Jesus Christ.
Tiger's the man.
I don't know.
We're not going to talk about the Ryder Cup, though, by the way. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. What happened during the Ryder Cup?
We're not going to talk about the Ryder Cup.
About it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So obviously he must have sucked.
Well, the whole team sucked, but not just him.
He started out like a bat out of hell, I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 3 out of the 4 won the doubles pairings. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but Tiger won the Tour Championship, and that's just awesome. He's the man.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see him have a good set of rounds. I'm not much of a fan of his. You know,
obviously the only reason I even watch golf or care about golf, sorry Todd, is if Tiger's doing well. I could care less about anybody else.
Really?
Tiger's the man.
There was people before him that made golf famous in the first place.
Well, I loved his answer to the. We're going to talk about this. We're going to do this debate someday on this show about the Mount Rushmore of sports.
Oh, yes.
The top 4 players of each sport. We're going to do that someday. Tiger was asked about that, and he named 2 guys who I don't remember now. And then he said Jack Nicklaus, and he goes, and me. And he's right.
And he's right. You know, he is right. I mean, I would have to include him in mine, but that's there. I'm actually kind of glad golf is over for a little while. You know, sorry, Todd, but
well, Todd will live. He's got the Buckeyes, so go Bucks. And of course,
but see, golf ends at the right time. It's just starting to get into the hot mix of it. Baseball ends a little late, and NASCAR ends way late.
Okay, so folks, we're going to go to our first commercial break now. Don't forget that phone number is hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754 if you want to call in tonight. Talk about anything in sports, we'll talk about it. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754. When we get back from this break, first of all, on this break, we are going to update some information about the National Basketball Association, or as it's called, the association by the people that follow it close. We're going to do the DiamondBack MLS update and maybe some other stuff. Who knows? You never know what Iconic Drew's going to throw at you because it's all in fun. But time to go to the commercials, and we will be right back. Time for the NBA update. This is the Iconic Drew with this week's NBA update. LeBron says the Lakers have a long way to go to beat the Warriors. We have the NBA players ranked from 10 to 1. Damian Lillard from the Portland Trail Blazers. Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers. Kawhi Leonard from the Toronto Raptors. Russell Westbrook, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anthony Davis, the New Orleans Pelicans. Gaines from the Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin Durant from the Golden City Warriors. James Harden from the Houston Rockets. Stephon Curry from the Golden City Warriors. And no surprise here, folks, coming in at number 1, LeBron James from the Los Angeles Lakers.
They're 2-0.
It was muted.
Dynamo shut out the Philadelphia Union 3-0. Saturday, September 29th, Chicago Fire and LA Football Club go at it. 3-1 in favor of Chicago Fire. The Seattle Sounders FC beat the Colorado Rapids 4-0 DC United beat Montreal Impact.
We get to talk about college football now. Next. Hey, sometime during one of the breaks, before we get to it, look up the matchups for Major League Baseball playoffs. Because we have to talk about it tonight. So.
Beat the New York City FC 2-1. The Houston Dynamo beat the San Jose Earthquakes 3-2. While the LA Galaxy shut out the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-0. I'm the Diamondback, and that was this week's hashtag Save the Crew scores. Thank you. Have a nice day, and as always, enjoy. The final 2 games were on Sunday, September 30th. The New York Red Bull.
Welcome back to the Diamondback show.
Yeah. Yeah, you started over.
Shouldn't have looped.
It's okay.
I did something I might have messed up and not caught it.
Yes, everybody. Welcome back to the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. The Ferocious Bunny Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
He finally got it right, fellas.
Hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754. Follow us on my Facebook page and Diamondback's YouTube page, LMS.DiamondbAcK.
There you go.
And also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine.
Awesome.
So this is the segment of the show, one of my favorites, because we get to talk about college football.
College football?
College football.
I love college.
You know, the best football.
The best type of football?
Yes, absolutely. In our humble opinion, we both agreed on that spot.
Oh, that's right.
We had it number one. Actually agreed on that subject. So, now we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the games from last weekend. We might as well start with one of the best games of the weekend.
I'm going to agree with you on this. This had to be the best matchup.
Yeah.
Overall, and one of the best games out there.
I mean, talking about one of the best games of the weekend, Notre Dame at home against Stanford. It was a very good game.
You didn't go where I thought you would go, but maybe you just pulled a funny just to be.
Notre Dame won that game 38-17. I don't know if you saw any of that or not, because Ohio State was on at the same time. I was flipping back and forth on a regular basis. So I was sitting at home watching the game by myself at that point, and I was flipping back and forth, just loving life. Need to set up the second TV for that. That hasn't happened yet. But nonetheless, Notre Dame certainly took care of business. But yes, how about those Buckeyes? 27-26 over Penn State in a game at State College. Unbelievable matchup.
Whiteout conditions.
Whiteout conditions, and they still won.
They still won, and they've always Ohio State's kind of struggled with that whiteout since they've started doing that. But Ohio State, and I've got to say this. Penn State and Ohio State have had the past 5 years have had the best matchups of two teams during within this past 5 years.
Right.
I mean, they are just unbelievable, knocking the heck. If you guys are I always sit there and say you need to get another rivalry. Well, I think you guys got it.
Well, I think so too.
I think you guys got it, and
a better rivalry.
Yeah.
At least right now, they're giving us a better game.
As I said, in the past 5 years, they've all been close games. They've all been within like a touchdown.
Cousin Paul, how's it going?
And they, so it's. I'm actually liking that matchup. You guys, I know you guys look at Michigan as your big rivalry, but Michigan has been. Meat
Chicken will always be the rival. Ask Urban Meyer.
Well, yeah, no, that should be. I mean,
I think that's the way it should be. I do believe that Meat Chicken is the number one rival for Ohio State, and always should be.
Yeah,
because of the history of the game.
Right.
The best rivalry in sports.
Yeah.
So, and I realize you may disagree with that, Diamondback, being a Bama fan.
It's one of the best rivalries out there. I do like that you guys picked it up and called it the game.
Yes.
And I kind of like how you throw it in there as yours, because the Ohio State University.
Right.
So it's
the game.
The game. So I kind of like how you guys have turned that.
It's a little twist, yeah.
So
you gotta love it.
You gotta like those little twists, the little things that are hidden there. But as I said, you got the rivalry now with Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to develop one with Wisconsin.
And Michigan State has become somewhat of a rival too.
Yes, and that one's been a long time coming, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Being an Alabama fan, people sit there and go, "Oh, well, you guys got too many rivals." Yeah, we got Tennessee. That's our cross rival. Within our division, we play them every year. That's the third Saturday of October. Matter of fact, that's what that game is called. Mm-hmm. Third Saturday of October. Even though sometimes it is played on the fourth Saturday, but it's still called the third Saturday of October.
So speaking of our rival, Meat Chicken goes to Northwestern and struggles and comes out with a 20-17 win. Did you see any of this game?
No, I did not see.
Yeah, I did see that game actually.
I really had chalked that game up as they should win that. And actually, I don't know if you've ever heard him. He goes by his last name's Maine. I do believe his first name's Kenny as well.
Kenny Maine.
But it's not. No, it's not the ESPN analyst.
Oh, it's a different guy.
This guy's a comedian. And he's an Alabama fan. He does little things about
So he's
how
got that
Alabama
against
fans,
him.
How Alabama fans watch Week
Yeah.
5, you know, and he picks fun at other little things, and he actually brought that game up and was like, struggle one, and was making fun of them. So, but he will also make fun of Alabama at the same time. So he's actually kind of a good comedian to watch. But yeah, that's exactly what I thought of when I seen that score. I'm like, how can it be that close against Northwestern?
Yeah.
They should have went in there and just dominated.
Some other interesting games over the weekend as well in college football. I mean, before we move away completely from Ohio State, though, I do need to say what a great comeback there in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable. I was sweating that one out. I'm one of those people, and you've watched football with me, Diamondback, so you know how I am. I'm one of these people during a football or hockey game who will get up and pace the floor and walk around, switch positions on the couch. I may even change my clothes just to change the luck of the team I'm rooting for. So, you know, and I even do this. I found myself doing this at high school football games at Derby. I will, if I'm sitting there talking to somebody, I'll be like, this is nothing personal. But you can see right now we're losing, so I need to move the other side of the stadium to help the team out. And what's funny is 9 times out of the 10, the person I'm talking to gets it. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll see you later, Andy. I mean, Iconic, we'll have fun, you know? We'll see you later, Iconic. We'll talk to you after the game or whatever. Right. So, you know, and if the luck does not change, I'll move back, you know. So, but nonetheless, there were some other pretty big matchups over the weekend as well, as far as that goes. Clemson escaping at home against Syracuse. That final was 27-23. This is a game going into it. Had we been able to talk about last week, if I had not been under the weather, I picked Syracuse in this matchup. I take the loss because Clemson pulled it off. But I really thought Syracuse was going to beat them because they're one of those teams that just sneaky good.
Syracuse gives Clemson a game.
Every time they beat them up in Syracuse last year.
They beat them up in Syracuse, and they almost did it. They are a team that you really cannot down them even when they have a down year because they will step up for that game. You know, they've got something against Clemson for whatever reason. They have that, and they want to take them out.
And here's another game I picked too. I picked Virginia Tech to beat Duke. They came through.
Really?
Virginia Tech beat Duke 31-14. That game was at Duke. Duke was ranked going into this game number 22. Looking at my little cheat sheet here for this week. Yeah, don't see Duke. Yeah, they're out of the top 25.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Go play basketball. That's what you're good at.
That's what.
Forget football. You're Duke. What are you doing? Tried to cross over.
Well, that Duke's not the only one trying to cross over. We've got a couple other teams trying to cross over. I mean, as I said, Indiana crossing over.
It's Ohio State trying to cross over in basketball. I'm sure you saw the recruits that Ohio State got this week.
Actually, I did
Top 5 recruiting class. I know I got to throw Ohio State back out there again, but, you know, pretty awesome. I was listening out on the way here, and I was like, man, a top 5 recruiting class in basketball for Ohio State? Are you kidding me right now? Wow, we're trying to be competitive in basketball too? Okay, that works.
Awesome.
I'm fine with it.
That's probably about the only Buckeye team you'll see me really root for is because Alabama will never have a basketball team.
No, they won't. And West Virginia outlasts Texas Tech in a number 12 versus number 25 matchup. Your typical Big 12 game, 42-35. But West Virginia's looking good.
West Virginia's looking good.
Yeah.
I do like to see where they go with this and where they close it out. And yeah, no. Killer just chimed in. He told me it's about time I put my cans on.
Yeah, but they're not really working. I'm just trying to look professional.
You're just trying to look professional.
It's just normal for me to wear them, so I don't really.
Right now, with my vision, I don't need my hearing as well messed up.
What? So let's see.
Killer is asking. The WTMHradio.com on the YouTube, we're not on there right now. They're having some technical difficulties with that PC.
Yeah, it looks like my Ducks are back too. Number 19 team in the country. They went to Cal, beat number 24 Cal Bears 42-24. So you got to like that. I didn't see any of that game, so I don't know what uniform the Ducks were wearing. And they've got 15, 20 of them to choose from.
I think they are over 100 now.
Yeah, maybe. They're the Ducks.
They have got a lot of choices, and they got like 5 different pairs of shoes, colors that they can wear. It's nuts.
Yeah, I was looking to see if there's any other matchups that kind of stood out. Your Crimson Tide got to play a nobody again and roll.
Yeah,
56-14 over Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, but our second string went in like the second quarter.
Yeah,
so,
well, as they should.
But it was Louisiana Lafayette, as I like to pronounce when
Lafayette.
we play them. Anyways.
Oh.
Mini rant.
Are we a little fired up here? A little mini rant. By the way, folks, there will be no necessarily because of time constraints. There won't be our normal scheduled rants tonight. Those will be back next week.
Yeah.
And that phone line again, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. So let's turn the page here and talk about the matchups for this week.
All right.
And see if there's any here that are interesting that we want to talk about and pick against each other. I've picked all of them.
You picked all of them.
Which I do.
All right.
But we don't necessarily pick all these against each other like we do the pro games.
Yeah.
And so that's the way this works.
So let's see what you have there.
Let's start with this game. Number 6, Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Virginia Tech. Who you got?
I'll take Dame.
Take who?
Dame.
Notre Dame, really, we agree. That's unfortunate.
He hates when we agree, folks. He hates when I agree with him.
That's not the point. It's just, I thought that was one that you'd be like, no.
No.
So Dave has asked a question we might as well talk about since we're in the college segment. He wants to know, does Michigan need to win more to justify, does Meat Chicken need to win more to justify Jim Harbaugh's $7.5 million?
Oh,
he says LOL at the end of it.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about Michigan paying Jim Harbaugh that kind of money. I'll be glad to chime in on this. Michigan fans like to sit there when we gave Coach Saban his
here we go.
money.
It's time for a mini rant.
Brought the Brinks truck up. Well, at least we knew what we was getting. We was getting a proven winner. Okay? Now, I will say this about Jim Harbaugh. He has coached and was successfully coaching in the NFL. Nick Saban could not do that. However, Nick Saban is a proven college coach.
And
they paid him that money before he even proved himself at Michigan. So back the Brinks truck up and go ahead and pay him for as long as you need to pay him. But he's going to be a worthless SOB. Period.
So speaking of Meat Chicken, they get Maryland at home this week. And since we're talking about Meat Chicken, who you got?
I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to take them.
Yeah, me too.
And they should win that. They're playing Maryland.
At home.
In the big toilet up there, right?
The big toilet, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to help you out since.
Oh, you don't need to help me. I got enough to say about them. I mean, I can't help it that Ann Arbor's a whore. That's not my fault.
What the heck do they call that stadium up there? What is the
The
actual
big
name?
house.
The big toilet bowl. Okay.
The big toilet bowl.
Okay.
Up north.
Anyways.
Well, I grew up in Toledo. We used to say, just go north until you smell it, and east until you step in it.
Nice.
So that's what we used to say growing up. So that game's really not worth talking about.
No,
Meat Chicken should win.
They should win that
at home.
big. 28 points.
Absolutely. Here's a matchup. Probably the best matchup of the day next week. Number 19, Texas, at number 7, Oklahoma. Now, that's the Red River rivalry. That game is on at noon on Fox. By the way, everybody, that Notre Dame game we mentioned earlier is on at 8 p.m. on ABC. And the Meat Chicken game we just talked about is on noon at ABC. So that Meat Chicken game will be on opposite of this one, which means I probably won't see a second of it. Number 19, Texas, versus number 7, Oklahoma. Who you got? Red River rivalry.
Give me the Sooners.
Sooners? We got one disagreed finally.
Give me the Sooners.
Yeah, I'm picking the upset there. I'll take Texas. I'm not positive they'll win. I don't have anything against either team. This is not a rivalry where I fall on one certain side because I don't consider myself a fan of either team.
I hate Oklahoma, but taking my hatred completely out of this one, which I can do.
That's one of us.
That's very subtle. I would put money on the Sooners on this.
Mm-hmm. Here's another interesting matchup for you. Number 5, LSU at number 22, Florida.
Number 5, LSU at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going to Gainesville is no joke.
No.
No joke.
No joke.
You can't go into Gainesville and expect to walk out without being bruised and banged up. You're just going to get it, even when they're down here. However, with that being said, I'm taking LSU in this. Yeah,
we agree on that matchup too. I thought we would, but I'll take LSU. By the way, folks, that game is on CBS at 3:30. That's your typical SEC
network.
CBS matchup. Well, NBC owns Notre Dame, so why not? I'm gonna get into that. Oh, by the way, before we go into any other games, I don't know if there's any others ones we want to talk about.
There's one that I'll do, but
and I'll let you bring it up after this little mini debate we're gonna have right here. I'm throwing this at you. You're unprepared for it, but here it is anyway. Right now, who's the 4 teams you got in the Final Four?
Wow. Number 1, hands down, Alabama. Hands down.
Okay.
Hands down. I don't care that they haven't played anybody. Hands down, boom. Why? Because
you're a Bama fan.
They're putting 45 plus on the board on every team.
Okay. Go ahead.
Every team. I'm sorry, you might not think Louisville's that all, but it is what? What is it? It is a Power 5 team, correct? It's out of a Power 5 conference. Thank you very much.
Who do you got number 2? Just go on.
All right. Then I have Ohio State.
Okay.
Followed by Georgia and then LSU. But understand, those teams are all going to be playing each other and knock themselves out.
So you've got 3 SEC teams right now.
Right now.
Folks, I think Diamondback is high. So, thank you. Anyway, it's that time of night, man. We can, it's internet radio too. Pretty much say whatever the heck we want to.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Obviously, 2 of the teams I would have in will be Ohio State, Alabama, whatever order, does not matter.
Right.
Obviously, Ohio State's been tested more at this point.
And I will give you that. I will give you that. I will not down that.
Yeah. My next team would be Georgia. I put Georgia in. My last team, Notre Dame. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let them slip in. They're going to go undefeated. They're going to run the table.
You think they're going to run the table from here on?
I think if they get by Virginia Tech this week, that's going to be a tough game. Don't get me wrong. I think that's going to be a tough game for them, but I think they beat Virginia Tech. And we've already talked about the game. We both took the Irish. And it's at Virginia Tech, tough place to play. Ask any Buckeye fan. But nonetheless, I think Notre Dame goes in there and beats Virginia Tech.
You can say we with me. I'm not one of those type of people that, you don't play for the team.
I've always been an Irish fan.
You root for them, you can say
second only to my Buckeyes, of course. But nonetheless, I take Notre Dame as my final team. Now, if Notre Dame does stub their toe or lose a game along the way, they won't make it because there's so many exclusions for them because of not being in a conference. Don't get me started on that. So that's our top 4 at this point. You got 3 SEC teams, which is
but they're going to be
typical SEC fan.
No, that's just what I see right now. But Alabama and LSU will match up. Georgia will match up against whoever wins that because that's who's going to win the East.
Right, should be.
That's who's going to win the West.
Right.
Whoever wins that game, and then.
Right. Well, I think the SEC championship game is Georgia and Alabama. And here's the thing: if they both go in undefeated, and it's a close game,
they're both.
Georgia loses by say 3 points. They're both in. They're both in.
You got that right there. You're gonna have.
With all apologies to the Big 12 and the Pac-12, sorry about it. The fact of the matter is, those 2 teams are 2 of the best teams in the country. Like I said, I put them both in too. Them 2, Ohio State and Notre Dame. interesting matchups for the Final Four. So what's the other game you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about the Texas A&M game.
Oh!
It's at Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup. Thank you for bringing that one up.
They are playing up against a 5-0 basketball team here.
Right, Kentucky.
The Kentucky there, University of Kentucky, playing some ball. Been a while since they have been up there. I think the last time they've been up there was, Paul Bear Bryant was a coach.
Wow. And that was before he went to Bama, of course.
Before he went to Bama.
Yeah, a little history lesson there for you folks.
So, but yeah, he, anyways, this game here, I'm very interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the ESPN...
Who do you have?
I'm taking Kentucky in this.
All right, we have a different matchup. Thank you. I got Texas A&M.
I'm going to take Kentucky in this.
We're differencing on 2 games right now. Let's see if I can find one more so we've got an odd number there that we might be different on.
Georgia Vanderbilt, I'm going to take Georgia, and I'm sure you got Georgia.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that game.
Auburn, Mississippi, I got Auburn.
And obviously, Bama rules Arkansas. You're probably picking OSU over IU.
Yes, hands down. Where's that at? Is that in?
It's here. It's our homecoming game.
Okay. That's right. You said it's.
How about number 4 Clemson at Wake Forest?
Number 4 Clemson. Come on. They just got out of a trap game. They're gonna be up for this game. Clemson.
I got Clemson too. We might not find another one. We might just have to hope that we both. Well, even if we split it, no big deal.
Kind of go back here on the Kentucky thing. A couple of ESPN announcers actually was talking about Kentucky.
Way off.
They actually are putting Kentucky giving Georgia a game. They think that Georgia can lose that game. Look, Kentucky's got a lot to go, and they got that running back out of there that's just freaking phenomenal. He does need to lose the little kid whistle as he runs, but hey, that's.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that or not. He's got a little whistle for a mouth guard, and as he runs past people, he blows it.
Nice. So I think that pretty much sums up our college picks for this week. Those are the big games we've talked about, the big matchups. We kind of agree on what games should be blowouts and all of that type of thing.
Miami, Florida State.
When we come back from this next, Miami, Florida State. Who you got?
FSU.
Okay, well, there's our different one. Good job. And this is one I had to put my hatred aside. I hate the Hurricanes. Hate them. Freaking hate the Hurricanes with a passion. They're at home. They're a ranked team. Florida State's not that good this year.
They're not.
Believe me, I'll be rooting for Florida State. By the way, folks, this game is on ABC at 3:30. So everybody can watch that game. If you want to flip over during the commercials of the SEC game that's on at that time. Anyway, but on CBS, by the way, which somehow stands for SEC. But, yeah, I will be rooting for Florida State. Actually, I may not be watching the game. I'm supposed to be at a wedding during this game. Buddy of mine's getting married at 2:30.
Dude, wedding planners need to block out.
And this guy it's Cass. We've talked to Big Cass.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to call him out right now. Big Cass, what are you doing getting married during football season? Look, I understand. First of all, let me defend him for a second. I know you're in love. I get that because I am too. I understand it. Love makes you do all kinds of crazy things. There's no doubt about that. But he is the biggest college football fan, Buckeye fan especially, that you'll ever meet in your life. Okay? Biggest Buckeye fan I know, besides myself. And yet, he's getting married. The wedding's at 2:30. Now, the Buckeyes play at 4. Okay? I don't know if he's already mentioned to his soon-to-be wife. She probably already knows. He'll be peeking a little peek at the TVs probably at the reception, see what's going on, make sure the Buckeyes are okay. So, it's IU, but I get that. But, man, Buckeyes struggled with them on the road last year. So, anyway, that's into my little mini rant directed at Cass.
So, at least
not only that, I'm missing football to go watch him get married.
At least he didn't
Thanks, Cass.
Yeah, at least he didn't pick the 24th of November.
Yeah, well, if he picked that date,
nobody would show up.
First of all, nobody would show up, and second of all, those of you who don't know, that's going to be the Meat Chicken Ohio State game.
I had to look it up to bring it up.
There you go. Speaking of bringing it up, hopefully you got those MLB matchups lined up for us there, because that's where we're heading next.
Yep.
After this next break, first of all, during this break, we are going to have the NHL update, the National Hockey League, and also the CFL scores brought to us by DiamOnDbAcK, and any other kind of fun we can throw at you here. So, here comes the NHL update. And folks, here is the National Hockey League update. This is the iconic Drew bringing that to you. There's some games that start this week. Today, Wednesday the 3rd, the Canadiens the Bruins are at the Caps, the Flames are at the Canucks, and the Ducks are at the Sharks. On Thursday the 4th, the CBJ play at the Red Wings. The Bruins are at the Sabres, Caps are at the Pens, Islanders are at the Hurricanes, Preds are at the Rangers, Blackhawks are at the Sens, and the Jets are at the Blues. Then, also we have the Coyotes at the Stars and the Wild at the Avalanche. On Friday the 5th, the Hurricane are at the CBJ, opening game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Go Jackets. Sharks are at the Kings. Saturday, October the 6th, the Oilers are at the Devils, the Rangers are at the Sabres. The Sens are at the Maple Leafs, the Pens are at the Lightning, Canadiens, Jets at the Stars, Blackhawks at the Blues. Golden Knights take on the Wild. Flyers are at the Avalanche. Ducks take on the Coyotes. And the Canucks are at the Flyers. Then, on the 7th, the Rangers and the Maple Leafs then play at the Avalanche. And Red Wings are at the Kings. This has been the iconic Drew with your update for this week for the National Hockey League.
September 28th.
Where'd he go? We lost DiamOnDbAcK, folks.
16-38.
Hey, welcome. Kathy's gone. Okay, so that takes care of that.
Levi Mitchell completed 20 of 34 for 307 yards. Saturday, September 29th. The Hamilton Tiger Cats beat the EC Lions 40-10. Jonathan Jennings for the Lions completed 17 of 25 passes for 146 yards. For Jeremiah Masoli for the Tiger Cats completed 18 of 26 for 189 yards. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers beat the Edmonton Eskimos 30-3. Matt Nichols
gonna be a big
completed
game.
16 of 20 for 179 yards with Mike Riley.
Oh, we have DiamOnDbAcK coming back in the room.
31 passes for 164 yards.
I appreciate that you go outside the room to do DiamOnDbAcK things.
34-29.
You just run down the hall?
Yeah. I had to go bleed a kidney, dude.
Out of 41 attempts, 394 yards.
I didn't need to know
Johnny
that.
Manziel completed 9 of 6.
Johnny Manziel?
For 130.
We have a Johnny Manziel sighting.
Yes.
Stampeders are 11-2 and the first to clinch their playoff spot to the road to the Grey Cup. I'm the DiamOnDbAcK, and this was this week's.
Hey, doing it live is not that hard. I might just keep doing that.
Thank you. Have a nice day, and as always, enjoy.
It's kind of fun, actually. Because then I can kind of improvise if I want to. Whoa.
Iconic Drew. Have you ever dreamed about
Good
putting
Lord.
radio on television?
Have you ever
It's
dreamed?
actually good because it's
Well,
it's
the
given going over this.
Ohio Media School, let me tell you, that is the
Leafs are beating the Canadians. Guess what started
It
tonight?
has been.
Or is that tonight?
Or-
Yeah, there's hockey tonight.
Hockey tonight, yes.
I need to get NBCSN pretty soon so I can watch
Located at 533
hockey games.
East Main Street,
How
Columbus, Ohio. Website,
can the Maple Leafs beat the Canadians?
I don't know.
The Maple Leafs were Canadians.
423-4945.
Wow.
So do what the iconic
Drew did.
And go to
The Ohio Media School. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Bunny Productions presents the iconic Drew and DiamOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show. We're just having some fun tonight. Just a 2-hour show. We might go a little over, but that's okay. We're absolutely fine with that. We'll drag our butts into work tomorrow. It's all good. So, listen to you. Must be nice. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. And speaking of WTMH Radio, the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show is coming up on Saturday, November the 10th. That's going to be at the King's Art Complex over there on Mount Vernon Avenue here in Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet at 6, showtime at 7:30. DiamondBack, what award are you winning?
I'm winning the best male model out. But
best male model.
The votes are done.
Yeah, the votes are done.
All the being able to log in and vote is done. So appreciate everybody that actually went out there and voted. Especially if you voted for me for the best male model. If I win that, I'm going to be like falling on the floor.
Right. And in honor of the Steelers' season to this point, I'll be wearing a Steelers tie to this event.
Well, yeah, okay.
A Steelers tie, and I will have a beautiful blonde bombshell on my arm.
Nice.
So, yes, Carrie, I'm talking about you. Anyhow, she knew that.
Sure she did.
Yeah. Well, she knew that was my opinion, anyway.
Well, this is the opinion show.
This is the sports opinion show, and
oh, okay. But you can have opinions about other things. You seem to have opinions about
music.
Music.
Well, Aerosmith.
I don't agree with it.
Aerosmith, best band ever.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Major League Baseball situation.
Okay. Let's talk about wild cards first.
I might rant for a moment here, folks. We're not supposed to have scheduled rants tonight, but I am wearing a Cubs shirt. Should tell you what kind of mood. Should I tell you what kind of mood I'm in?
Out of 30 teams, 10.
13th inning.
And you have about 20 teams that you root for.
4.
And what? 4 of those come out of the same division.
3 come out of the same division. The Motor City Kitties, who were eliminated back in, I believe,
April?
June. No, the Reds were eliminated in April.
Reds were.
Pirates were in July, late July. And then my Cubbies were eliminated yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
So what's your, before I just freaking go, I'm so pissed about this. Before I go off on this, how do you feel? What's your opinion about the play-in game? Whether we should do it that way? Should it be a best 2 out of 3? Should it be 1 game? Should we do away with it? What do you think? Like we care, DiamondBack, what do you think?
I wouldn't be opposed to going to 2 out of 3. I would not be opposed to doing that. However, with that being said, the only reason I would want to see that is if there is a tie, an actual tie for one of those spots, or a spot that has to be played for, because as we know, those are one playoff games.
Speaking of ties, 2 divisions in the National League ended in a tie, and the teams had to play on Monday. Mm-hmm. The Brewers and Cubs, and the Rockies and Dodgers. Out of that, the Dodgers win. The Brewers win against my Cubs. Well, had that matchup, and then the Cubs had to play the Rockies to 1-game playoff to get into the playoffs. First of all, before I go off on this, I got to tip my hat. Don't have my hat tonight. Got to tip my hat to the Rockies. They won 3 games in a row. They played 3 different games in a row in 3 different time zones. I mean, that's impressive.
That is impressive.
So, congratulations to the Rockies. And I don't want to tip my hand here too much, but I might just be pulling for the Rockies in the playoffs now, even though they took my Cubbies out. And this is why I got to go off on this, though. Cubs had the second best record. And they got to play a 1-game playoff to get into the playoffs. I'm sorry, I don't consider this 1-game thing a playoff game, or a playoff game at all. What I consider is an extra 1 game, and the Cubbies lost. 13th inning, and they lose 2-1 last night to the Rockies. My Rockies. But they lose to the Rockies 2-1. And I can't freaking believe that Major League Baseball can't figure this out. Baseball is not a sprint. It's a long distance run. So you're telling me that in game 164, the Cubs are done because they couldn't win a game at home against the Rockies. They're done after having the second best record in baseball, or in National League, and now because Major League Baseball's pooping on themselves and can't figure out how to get out of their own way and make this setup so it's a series. Playoffs are supposed to be a series in Major League Baseball. This is not the National Football League.
I agree. I can handle a 3-game series, but that's the most I can see that.
I don't think it should be more than 3.
Okay.
I'm fine with 3.
Because they can.
But meanwhile, my Cubs are sitting at home today.
Oh, they're sitting at home, yes. But the thing
Just
is,
crap.
You would have Atlanta and LA sitting on their
Shoot.
on their butt, as well as Milwaukee sitting on their butt right now,
Right.
because they would be waiting for that. And baseball is not like basketball, where if a team sits on their butt for a little bit, it's no big deal. Baseball, you lose momentum, you're done. Getting a 4-game sweep is kind of bad in baseball, because then you're waiting for that next team to come, and they're going to come in hot.
I'm just so, like I said, I'm so irritated about this because, this is just not, it's not fair. It's really just not fair to have a 1-game playoff, call it a playoff game. It's not a playoff game. I don't feel like any of my teams made the playoffs this year.
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
Well, according to
Cubs.
Major League Baseball, the Cubs did.
Yeah, the Cubs did.
Because that was called a playoff game.
They were the 4th seed.
That was called a playoff game.
No.
No, this is like the play-in games for March Madness. Those are not tournament games. Those are play-in games. Every once in a while, one of those teams will win in the first round.
Cubs had home field, and they should have been fine, but they didn't. They didn't win at home. As you pointed out,
it's absolute crap.
Colorado played a game in L.A. Pacific time zone, and then had to go all the way to.
Hey, I feel bad. I feel bad for the Rockies. Don't get me wrong. They won the game they needed to win, though.
Right.
And you got to hand that to them. I agree with that. But baseball blew it. Baseball's blowing it with this.
I agree. They are blowing it. I mean, they need to come up with something better.
All right, let's get to the National League matchups.
Okay, so with the wild card being said, there, the Cubs and the Rockies win that. So the Rockies will play Milwaukee.
So the Rockies play the Brewers, and that's a best of 5, right?
That should be a best of 7.
Best of 7.
This is where they could shrink that down and make that a best of 5. Why they make that one a best of 3?
Right. Okay, who you got in that matchup?
I'm going to take the Rockies. I'm going to root for the Rockies on that one.
Yeah, me too. Okay, how about the next one?
The other one in the National League is the number 2 LA Dodgers against my number 3 Atlanta Braves.
I know who you have.
Yeah, I'm going to take and root for the Braves, man, all the way. They probably won't do squat, but
I'm going to take the Dodgers just to be different. I know nothing about their team. I'm going to take them anyway.
Well, they sent the Rockies to the Chicago to beat your Cubs. That's what you know about.
Well, I don't. It's still rooting against you, so I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
How about the American League? Although the matchups aren't set yet because the games are being played right now.
It's perfectly fine. There's one of the games being played right now, and that's
in the other stupid one-game playoff.
The Oakland Athletics against the number 4 New York Yankees. So this is in New York.
Yeah, Yankees will probably win.
And Yankees are up right now, 2-0, and that's the top of the 6th.
They'll probably hold on.
They should hold on to that.
Let's just say they do.
So that would make the Yankees playing, of course, the 108 winning games Boston Red Sox.
Ooh.
They broke their own team record and won 108 games. Prior to that, their best season was 105 games.
Who you got in that matchup?
I'm going to take Boston.
Yes, so am I. I hate to say it, but I'll take Boston too. How about the other one?
That's just because I hate the Yankees.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
They abandoned our Clippers.
Thank God. Although now we're stuck with the Indians. Oh my God! And that's the next matchup.
And that's, of
Indians.
course, the number 3 Cleveland Indians are going to go up against the number 2 and defending.
Oh, the Rangers.
Nope. No. Houston Astros.
Astros. That's right.
They won it last year, if memory serves me right.
They did.
Okay.
I know you're taking Indians.
I will take the Indians in that.
I'm taking the Astros.
Because I'm gonna be pulling for the politically incorrect Indians versus the Braves World Series.
So then that means in the next round, you would have the Rockies
Playing the Braves.
Playing the Braves. And you're going to take the Braves.
Yep.
And I'm going to take the Rockies over the Dodgers. And that also means in the American League, I would have the Red Sox against the Astros. And you would have the Red Sox against the Indians.
Right.
I'm assuming you'll take the Indians.
Yep.
I will take the Red Sox. Okay, so then that means we would have, I guess that would be the World Series, right?
Yep.
Rockies versus Red Sox.
Rockies versus Red Sox, yep.
You would have the politically incorrect Braves versus Indians, which is funny. You're going to take the Braves.
I'm going to take the Braves.
And I'm going to take, can't root for that part of the country. Patriots live there too. Rockies. So there's our MLB picks. So there we go. I'll keep that sheet and we'll see how we do against each other at the end of the playoffs there. Honestly, I don't care because my teams are gone thanks to the stupidity of Major League Baseball. So now, folks, when we get back from this next break, we will talk about the too early for Heisman talk. Hopefully Diamondback's ready for this. He's got about 4 names to talk about when we come back. Throw this at him right now because this is what Iconic does. We talked about this earlier in the week, though. He should be ready. So now it's time for the NASCAR update. That is the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing. Charlotte, the last race was in Charlotte on September 29th, and Ryan Blaney won that. Here's your points rundown, or the order anyway. Kyle Busch is first, Kevin Harvick is second, Martin Truex Jr. is third, Brian Keselowski's fourth, fifth is Clint Boyer, sixth, Joey Logano, seventh, Kurt Busch, eighth, Ryan Blaney, ninth, Chase the Man Elliott, number 10, Kyle Larson, number 11, Eric Almirola, number 12, Alex Bowman, number 13, Jimmy, I'm on the outside looking in, Johnson, number 14, Dylan, and then number 15, Denny Hamlin, number 16, Eric Jones. So I forgot to find out where the next race is. We'll look that up for you here in just a moment, folks. While I'm playing this this next commercial here, I will let Diamondback look that up for us while we're getting this going here. This is going to be the Cosmic Sub commercial that Iconic did when he was at the Ohio Media School. Here we go.
So you tired of the same old?
So where's the next race at?
Cosmic Subs.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
It's the only thing I forgot to look up on that. Oops, turn my mic off.
What'd you think of that Louisville race?
This is the iconic.
I don't know, but what are we talking about next? Oh, the too early for Heisman show. P-Talk.
Special deal from today through the weekend. Buy one sub at full price, second half price.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And I think my mic's working now. Holy cow.
Are we? Are we up?
Yeah, I think we are.
Look.
I can hear myself in my cans.
I can't hear myself.
You can't hear your cans?
I can't hear myself. And I can't.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me either? Maybe I'm just echoing in my own head. Anyway, everybody, welcome back. And once again, this is the Ferocious Pony Productions presents the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. We had that nice little bumper there by the Iconic Drew in that last segment, and where he was talking about the points and all that, but he did forget to look up where the next race is. Do you have that yet, Diamondback?
I am almost there.
Okay, so meanwhile, while he's getting there, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
Right, and we're also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. May not be on my phone on Facebook much longer. Sorry about that, but I just saw a little battery thing pop up there, and of course I forgot to grab my battery charger at work today. So we might be shutting down my Facebook page here in a moment, but we are on Diamondback's YouTube page. Mine's down for whatever reason.
Yes.
But LMS.DiamondBack is
Killer
where that's
doesn't think
at.
I'm paying attention to him, but I am. He's
Well,
responded.
Killer's hard to ignore.
He is high on RPM.
So where's that next race at so we can wrap up NASCAR talk?
It's at the Monster Mile at Dover International Speedway. It's the Gander Outdoors 400.
The Gander Outdoor. Where's it at?
Dover.
Dover. That's a good racetrack.
Monster Mile.
It's a good racetrack.
That is a good racetrack.
I don't think
no car comes out unscathed out of that one.
Even the winner.
Yeah,
Even the winner looks bad. I mean, it's nasty.
It has always been a favorite race for me to watch. Unfortunately.
What channel is it on?
It is going to be on NBC.
Oh, really? Sunday, what time?
Yeah. Sunday at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Sunday on NBC. And that is the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing. So that race will be on opposite of a certain little football game that we'll be talking about here in a few minutes.
Yep.
Not to foreshadow, but that's what we do. We do a lot of foreshadowing on this show.
Wow.
And the Smart Water's really kicking tonight.
I'm glad.
It's helping me out. So once again, that first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards show is on Saturday, November the 10th. It's going to be at the King's Art Complex here in Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet at 6, showtime at 7:30. I know that Iconic Drew will be there wearing a Steeler tie to honor something that drives Iconic Drew crazy. Ties. I don't like wearing them either. But I've been told by Eldre that this is a black tie event. You have to wear a tie if you go.
Which I don't have a problem wearing ties. I actually like wearing dress shirts, ties, everything like that.
That's one of us.
Unfortunately,
So
my job.
That's the other thing, Cass, I got to dress up for this wedding, too, on Saturday. It's like, first of all, I could be laying on the couch.
In a polo, man.
I could be laying on the couch watching football all day, Red River Rivalry, and every other game we just talked about. Now I got to go to a wedding. Cass, I like you. You're a good guy. Anyway, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. He's probably not watching tonight because he's got stuff to get ready, I'm
Probably
sure.
good stuff. Killer wants to know if you want to talk about how crappy the Steelers are.
Well, we're going to get into the NFL here in a few minutes, and I'm sure we'll talk about how wonderful and awesome the Pittsburgh Steelers are this season. That was said totally tongue-in-cheek and definitely very sarcastically. So, because they, in a word, suck. But right now, we are talking about the too early for Heisman talk. I will not let Killer take the show off the rails. I won't let Diamondback do it. I'm sure as heck not going to let Killer do it. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Folks, I'm going to log off of Facebook because it's going dead on me here. So goodbye to everybody that was watching me on that, or watching us on that, but I got to save my phone. So anyway, sorry to have to do that, but my phone is dying. No slow death. No charger. It's a bummer. Anyway, so if you had to pick your top 4 right now for the Heisman Trophy, Diamondback, who you got in 4th?
I didn't do 4.
Oh, how many did you do?
I did 3.
Okay, well, who you got? Never mind. I'll do my 4th and we'll go to your 3rd. How about that?
That sounds fun.
Fantastic. Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I have him in 4th. Quarterback. In fact, I have all quarterbacks, not to give too much away here, but I have all quarterbacks. And I did season stats on all 4 of these guys instead of by game. He has thrown for 1,411 yards at this point, 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So those are his season stats.
He's definitely who I've gotten 3rd.
Okay, so he's your 3rd.
He's my 3rd.
Okay. For the same reasons, I'm assuming.
Same reason.
Yeah. So I'll do my 3rd then. Will Greer, quarterback, West Virginia.
Yes, I can see that.
His stats, 1,487 yards, 17 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. So he's my 3rd. Okay, so he got in 2nd.
I'm going to go out of Alabama, Tua.
Wow, I'm surprised he's not higher on your list.
Look, he's doing an excellent job. I mean, he has not thrown an interception yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but as you pointed out earlier in the show, he has not been really tested.
Yeah.
When he plays LSU, he'll get tested. When he plays Auburn, he'll get tested.
Yes.
When he plays, if they win out, they will go to the SEC championship.
Yes.
And more than likely play Georgia.
Yes.
He'll get tested. That's when I would lock him in. as long as he's still throwing decently.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I did not put him at number 1.
Tua's stats have been awesome. In fact, I have him at number 2 as well. And his stats have been awesome. 1,033 yards to this point.
And he's only playing like half the game.
Right. 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Now, granted,
That's what makes him
not against the
stand
best
out.
opponents, but still 0 interceptions. I don't care who you're playing. You're not throwing the ball near the other team.
Yeah.
So,
You obviously know the color of your jerseys.
right, which is, some quarterbacks don't know that. So, yeah, 0 interceptions there. So who do you have at number 1?
You're going to like this. You're going to like it.
Are we going to agree?
Yeah. I do believe we are.
I
agree.
am in shock.
It's Dwayne, right? Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. Out of the Ohio State University.
After this last game against Penn State,
Wow, I'm in
he
shock.
actually he's been tested. He's had 2 games
Yeah.
that he's been tested. TCU and now Penn State.
Mhm.
So he's shown what he can do. Now he's got a couple of interceptions, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, his stats for the season, I've got him at number 1 as well. His stats for the season, he has 1,464 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions. That's what I thought.
1 against TCU and 1 against Penn State.
So the 2 teams that I'm telling, so
Yeah.
he's been tested.
And who knows, Tua could get 1 or 2 against LSU or against Auburn or some of the other teams he'll be tested by.
Yeah, and that's what's really going to do it. I mean, and as I said, Tua's only playing half the game. He really is only playing. I think the most he's played is 3/4. So seeing him there, that's the thing.
No need to look professional. I'm off Facebook now, so
Off Facebook, so he's not professional. But you are still on my YouTube channel.
right. Yeah. Hello, YouTube world. That's all I'm on now. I am the iconic Drew. So once again, that phone line, hashtag Save the Crew, 614-781-0754. Give us a call if you got an opinion on the Heisman, too early to call Heisman race. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, no, I was just going to repeat the number, 614-781-0754, hashtag Save the Crew.
Right. And that's, I think when we're talking about the Heisman race, I certainly didn't want to be a homer about this, but I just think Dwayne is just, Haskins, the passes he throws, they're so precise and they're so fast.
I'm going to say this.
And-
I don't think you're being much of a homer. Yes, there's that little bit, but that's just it. There, as I said, I kind of went at it objectively and actually looked at the opponents. And as I said, Tua just hasn't been tested. Dwayne's been tested twice.
Right.
And just absolutely love this kid's story behind him. Those of you that watched on TV, they actually showed a little movie video that his dad did, and his dad's got him there at Ohio State. He's walking through the museum, and he just stops his son, and he's wearing the number 7. He's got his name on the back of it, and he's asking, hey, what do you think? I'm going to play here. Well, what position are you going to play? I'm going to play quarterback. Damn it, that son of a gun is playing quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Amazing.
Amazing story. Just that right there, it just kind of it got me. So to see him actually complete a dream, this is a story that you need to share with your kids and say, look, this kid had his dream. He had it. Follow your dream.
Absolutely.
Don't take no.
Yeah.
No is not an answer, and especially don't take no from yourself.
That's a kid that grew up in Maryland. Lots of colleges between Maryland and Ohio State, and he chose to go to Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Maryland, you got Penn State, you've got Rutgers, and granted, not Rutgers much there, but the fact is that this is a kid at 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, knew that he wanted to go to Ohio State, and play quarterback here.
Yeah.
And did it. So I give him all kinds of, that's amazing.
Props, my hat's off, everything to this
And
kid.
Could he be pro after this year? Yeah, he could be. He could decide to go. Personally, yeah, as a Buckeye fan, I'm kind of like, man, I'd love to get 2 years out of this guy. But, the money's there.
If the money's there and the interest is there, go.
Yeah.
Because Cardell Jones is suffering because he didn't go when his hype was up.
Mm-hmm.
He should have. I'm sorry, he should have went. I know.
Well, this is the first.
Wanted to see him
This is
stick
the
around.
first time the Buckeyes have had a quarterback here in the last several seasons, though, that can actually throw the ball on a regular basis. I mean,
He doesn't have to look at the option. He doesn't have to sit there and go run.
my honorable mention this week, I didn't mention him before, but my honorable mention is Ian Book out of Notre Dame. This guy comes in, and Notre Dame, I don't know, folks, if you've been watching the Irish this year, but I got to tell you, they look like a totally different team under Book than they did under Winbush. And here's a novel concept. I put this on Facebook a little while ago. A novel concept for Notre Dame. Let's put a quarterback in that actually throws the ball. When did this become a running position? I don't mind a quarterback that can scramble and get out of trouble, but the number one thing for a quarterback ought to be able to throw the ball.
Yes.
And it seems like colleges, and don't get me wrong, I love Urban Meyer, but he seems to really love quarterbacks that run. And I'm just like, doesn't this kind of show you right now? We got two running backs that do a pretty good job back there. You don't need to be a quarterback running the ball on every play.
Well, what do you
Between Dobbs and
who do you see winning the the Super Bowl in the NFL? Tom Brady. You see him every. And what can he do? He can throw. Can he run? Yes, he can run when he needs to.
Right.
You know, Ben Roethlisberger. He can. He's got some height and built to him that he can run and crash into people.
Yeah, and he's not so big this year. He lost about 20 pounds in the offseason.
Yeah, I noticed that. I've noticed that, and I'm wondering if he's a little bit scared there, and that's probably why he's playing so timid. Because he does seem like he's playing a little timid.
We're going to get in the NFL here in the next segment, but I think that he has become. I think they've become one-dimensional on offense, and that's part of the problem. Everybody knows they're going to throw the ball. Anyway, but we'll get to the NFL here in a moment. But I do feel like that it's nice to see quarterbacks that can actually throw the ball. And these five guys that we've talked about tonight, they all throw the ball. I mean, I think Tua definitely is probably the best runner of the five.
But he can.
He can throw. The guy's got a good arm.
He's got the two dimensions.
But he doesn't look to just take off. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved J.T. Barrett as a Buckeye fan. I loved having J.T. Barrett in the game. But when things were breaking down, his first option was to take off running. He didn't necessarily check every option that he could throw the ball to. He would take off running on plays that he didn't necessarily need to do that. And that was the thing about him that I was just like, JT, and that's the thing. That's the difference between JT Barrett and our boy Dwayne Haskins, is that Dwayne's looking to throw the ball. And he's going to get it out quick, and you better be ready to catch the ball. We got 6 wide receivers on that team at Ohio State, and they're all taking their turns every week. One of them's a star, one or two is a star every week. You don't know which one's going to be. And that's the biggest thing about Ohio State, too.
Well, that's the biggest thing about Ohio State, and that's also the biggest thing about Haskins.
Yep.
Is Haskins sit there and say, he's got, as you pointed out, 6. He's got 6 people he can say, dude, you do something, I'll throw it to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't open, I ain't throwing it to you.
Right. Right. And he's got a wicked arm. I mean, it's really in a fastball.
He's got a zinger, and I'm just amazed by how this kid's playing. As I said, he's played again, and he kept himself calm, cool, and collective when he was down 2 scores there in the fourth quarter, and they come back. So, and yes, I realize Brady's old as shit, but they're a killer, but. He can move when he wants to.
Wow, we just threw Brady under the bus?
Well, that's what Killer just did. He's like, Brady can't run, he's old and slow as shit.
Well, that's one opinion, and we'll get to the NFL here in a moment. But again, I feel like, first of all, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Once again, that is
614-781-0754.
Hates it when I do that. That's why I do it. So this is, well, normally you're ready to just repeat that number, Diamondback. And tonight you're reading comments instead of doing his job. But anyway, this is, of course, the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And that it was the too early for Heisman talk there. But I'll tell you what, these 5 guys, I think maybe 3 or 4 of them will be in New York for the presentation.
I'm hoping to see some. And
I mean, it'd be nice to see a running back breakthrough or a wide receiver,
I'd
but
like to. I mean, this running back out of Kentucky that I'm talking about. You know, granted he's a sophomore this year, and I'm trying to think of his name, and unfortunately, I'm just being real slow to finding it. But you know, I think he can be a breakout, but he might not be ready this year. You might be hearing him more next year.
Yeah. So yeah, I do think it's a quarterback-driven year in college football.
Yeah.
So
it's about time,
especially with those 5 guys. Like I said, you got to check out this Ian Book kid that's playing for Notre Dame now. They're a totally different team with him in there than with Winbush. So, anyway, we are going to go to a commercial break. I think we're going to play Todd's commercial during this break.
Awesome.
When we come back, we'll talk about the NFL.
Your host, Mom, she say, "Who's the new girl?" I kind of drew. Every time I need a haircut, I get There are always sports on the TV. Everyone gives their opinion on
All right, I think I'm done now. Hopefully.
Topics from the iconic Drew and cast of characters.
Ugh.
Sports opinion show.
Cast of
That's
characters?
been here for
What?
18 years.
I've only got one character.
Drew will give his opinion on
He is a character,
anything
though.
else we're discussing. If you want to get a great haircut at an old-fashioned barber shop, go see Todd the Barber.
8 out of 10 voices in my head say don't shoot. So why not?
All right then.
Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m.
Oh, God.
Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday because Todd is a
Family man.
So if you need a haircut, what kind of you would do? Todd at Todd's Barbershop.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ferocious Money Productions present the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show. Once again, that phone number, hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. Right now we are on LMS DiAmOnDbAcK as well. YouTube page. My YouTube page is down. So is the WTMH YouTube page. But you can follow us on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Bringing up the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards on Saturday, November the 10th. Over there at the King's Arts Complex. Red carpet at 6, showtime is 7:30. And DiamondBack, what's that phone number again?
That's going to be 614-781-0754.
That was 614-781-0754.
Hashtag
Save the Crew. So, it's time to talk about our favorite league now. The National Football League.
I'm throwing a flag at you for roughing the pass.
That's pretty much how the league is going right now. I could do another mini rant on that, but I gotta say this first, though. Speaking of ties, we tied last week, 9-6.
9-6?
9-6. It might as well be the theme of the season.
Yeah, ties.
Ties, 9-6.
Not the kind of year.
Not what we wanted to see. It's more fun when there's, anyway, when one of us get to brag. This week, nobody gets to brag. But there are a few games to talk about here. In fact, we might as well just go ahead and start talking about the games from last week.
Awesome.
And throw those out there. How about this one? Let's start with the first game of the week. Vikings at the Rams.
Vikings at the Rams.
Diamondback takes the Vikings. Ouch. The iconic Drew took the Rams.
Now as that text message went on, I'd like to point out that somehow my NFL.com on my phone said it was Vikings and the Titans.
There's no excuses.
But I did come back after you said you could take the Rams and go, oh, they're playing the Rams? Screw it. I'll still take the Vikings.
Yeah, which was, well, anyway. I made some bad picks, too. Obviously, we both went 9-6, so there's really no bragging here either way for any of us. There's only two. Either would be the correct word. Wow. So, I kind of drew circling with words.
No education.
The smart water.
You just used.
The smart water's kicking in big time tonight. So, But yeah, I mean, that was a great game. I don't know if you know how much of that you watched, but that was fantastic.
Yeah. Killer says he took the Rams. We'll believe him because he's pretty good.
You know, the fact of the matter is, at this point, we don't have any way to prove it either way. So he could be.
I think he did take the Rams.
He could be 15-0 in his own world. That's fine.
I jumped on lovely Fortnite that night and
Killer could be 15-0 in his own mind.
Yeah, he probably is in his own mind.
Right. So, and that's fine. I mean, good for him. So, some other. What's he say?
We did because we care, Killer.
Right. So, let's just get into this game right now. I don't really want to, because I'm a Steeler fan, as everybody knows. But everybody's been wanting to talk about my Steelers.
Here we go. We're going to talk about
crappy. The Ravens defeat the Steelers 26-14. That game was in Pittsburgh too.
It was in Pittsburgh. And
I took the Steelers. You took the Ravens.
Didn't they go up 14-0?
The Ravens went up 14-0.
14-0. You guys brought it back in,
yeah.
and
said
then we're going to go home.
In the second half,
we're tied.
I think they sent out the. I think they sent the Panthers in to play the second half. And yeah, I'm going to throw the Panthers under the bus. Okay. Everybody knows they suck. So.
Wow.
Which is, it's true. It's been true for years. So, sorry, but it has. Yeah, I don't know. The second half, the only thing the Steelers' defense did right was keep the Ravens out of the end zone. Because the Ravens kicked 4 field goals in the second half. And the Steelers basically on offense went 3 and out almost every possession. So, in a word, 2 words, they sucked. And I think, like I was mentioning before, like I kind of teased a little while ago, and I think it was in the last segment, the Steelers have become one-dimensional on offense.
They have.
Part of that is no Bell. I mean, having Connor back there, Connor's been decent, but doesn't have that breakaway game like Bell can. And so that's been part of the issue for the Steelers there. So they're one-dimensional now. I do like their matchup this week. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But that game could be fun. We'll get to that when we get to the matchups for next week. So first, we need to talk about a couple other games. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked that the Steelers basically just didn't even come out of the locker room. They stayed in the locker room.
After halftime, they did.
Yeah.
They showed up for the second quarter, and then they was like, okay, we're tied. That's what we do.
Right.
We're leaving.
We're tied. We tie people now. So, yeah. It's crazy.
It's nuts. So.
But, I mean, hey, what can I say? I'll always be a Steeler fan. It just wasn't their. I don't think it's their year, but only time will tell.
Killer wants to know how you feel about Bell saying he might be back for Week 7.
Well, personally, if he comes back, I hope the offensive line lays down and plays dead on the first play of the game.
Just let him get destroyed.
Just let him get destroyed. I would love that. I think it'd be great.
Roughing the running back.
Yep, I think it'd be great. I think that just one play, just let that guy just get absolutely crushed. It'd be funny.
Oh my God, that would be just ugly as hell.
Another game I want to talk about.
All right.
Is going to be, believe it or not, you're going to be surprised that I want to talk about this game. Seahawks and Cardinals. 20-17 win by the Seahawks. You're shaking your head. You know why I want to talk about this game.
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin.
Huh?
Excuse me, Earl Thomas. Making news here, Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas. He was a holdout. He's also has the same thing going for him that Bell has going, that franchise tag. But he was set to make $8.5 million this season. 8.5 mil this season.
Nice.
He had offers from the Cowboys, Killers Cowboys, and from the Chiefs as well. They were interested in him. But none of those trades came through, and he decided to go start playing for the Seahawks again. And he had a lower. Which injury did he have here? He's been placed on injured reserve, according to our guy, ESPN's Adam Schefter, due to a lower leg fracture. While he was on the cart being taken out of the stadium back to the locker room area, he's going by the Cardinals. They're driving by the Cardinals sideline, and he decides to show the Seahawks that they're number one, flipping them off directly towards the bench, evidently just showing them how upset he was that he had to play for that team this year.
Wow. He actually flicked him off. They got, and of course, they had to have gotten this on one of the many camera views.
Oh yeah, it's been on TV. You could go back and watch that.
Okay, I'll have to definitely take a look at that. That throws me for a loop. I don't know what to even say about that. That's why I'm like stuttering.
Yeah. It's almost like he feels like he was forced to play, and because he was forced to play, he got hurt. That seems to be his opinion by doing that. And Earl, if you're out there, give us a call. Once again, that's hashtag Save the Crew phone line, 614-781-0754. I'd love to talk to you about this. I am the Iconic Drew. Give us a call.
Wow. And I hate to break it to you, but he probably doesn't really care who you are.
Yeah, he cares. So another game to talk about. We both took the Eagles, and they lost to Tennessee, 26-23 in overtime.
I cannot believe they lost that game.
I know, me neither.
This is a game that I thought was money in the bank.
Yeah, and we both picked them.
I mean, if we would have ranked these, from our most confident to our least confident, this would have been a high point game for me. I would have.
Oh, I put high points in this game. It cost me in my pull at work.
Okay.
Yeah, I was out before the Steelers lost. I was done before they lost. That didn't help because I put 8 points on them, which was stupid. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, we both took the Eagles to win. They lost. Another interesting game was the Lions at the Cowboys. Let's talk about this since Killer's out there watching right now.
Yeah, he woke up from his nap. We talked about college football. He took a nap.
We both took the Lions, you and I.
Yeah.
And Killer's Cowboys won 26-24.
Who did you take in that? Did you take your boys?
He probably did.
He probably did. Because he's 15-0.
He's not going to deny it now. He's 15-0, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think that, that was an interesting game. And let's delve more into this, since we need to talk about a matchup coming up next week between my Steelers and your Falcons. Get to play this week, and we're going to get into that game in a moment. Hold on. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. But let's talk about the Bengals and the Falcons.
I knew you were going to bring it around. I knew he was going to bring it around.
Well, we both took the Falcons. Again, we both lost.
Yeah.
As did they.
This
37-36 on the last second play.
That last second play, I'd like to say Julio caught that pass. That was an awesome pass. He caught it at about the 15-yard line and got another 5 yards out of it. So he's 10 yards away from scoring the winning touchdown.
Right.
And that was just an awesome pass from Matt Ryan straight into his hand because he threw it between 3 defenders.
Yes.
Julio was the only red shirt there.
Yeah, he was. And he caught the ball somehow.
You put enough glue on your hands, you're going to catch it. No,
Julio's the man. Let's be honest.
Sometimes you got to think some of these guys will catch the ball. You got to think you got to have some glue on your hands in order to catch that like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some spectacular catches this week, one-handed catches, not just in NFL but in college too. So I mean, this week has been full of those types of plays. So seeing that, I mean, it doesn't matter. You lose by 10 yards, you lose by a yard. We'll talk about the Tennessee Titans losing by a yard. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that was just. I mean, those. It doesn't matter. You lose, you lose.
I really thought the Falcons were going to pull it off there at the end.
By 2 scores.
That catch by A.J. Green, of the Cincinnati Bengals to win that game was, in a word, amazing. Hate to say it because I don't like the Bengals, but this kid is awesome. I've been texting with Big Cass during the season this year. Last year in fantasy football, I owned A.J. Green. He was on my team.
Right.
The iconic Drew fantasy football team, which turned out to be nothing but a fantasy because my team sucked. We were horrible. I think I won 2 games all year. Very bad season in fantasy football for iconic. But nonetheless, I had A.J. Green on my team, and I'm like, last year he does nothing. This year, I'm not in fantasy football, and A.J. Green's lighting it up. And I'm like, really? Really? That's typical of a Bengal player to just totally screw me like that. Thank you, A.J. Appreciate it. But nonetheless, what a great catch by A.J. and a big win for the Bengals.
Yeah,
I mean, they are in great shape.
My hat's off to them. I got a little bit of crap from a few people at my work because they're,
Yeah, well, I got some crap this week, obviously.
But my hat's off to the Bengals. I mean, they pulled it off. They did it, but
So
I really did not think they was going to do it. Not in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was a big win.
You talk about defenses didn't show up till second quarter. I mean, I think Matt Ryan went 8 for 9 on his third down completions, and Dalton pretty much did the same thing. I think he had 11 and 14. I think it was his third down completions.
So the other game to talk about from last weekend's Browns-Raiders goes to overtime. Another overtime game. Raiders win 45-42 to get their first victory of the year. Browns get another loss to go to 1-2-1, but the Browns are competitive.
They are actually shocking me. As I said, I got to give them a lot of respect. I didn't give them any respect in the beginning of the year. I'm sorry, you got to show me something. Well, they are showing me something. They're showing me that they have a team. They have a nucleus. Now let's put it together, and they are going to be scary here in the next. And
I'm telling you,
if they continue to build off that nucleus.
They may have finally hit their quarterback.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield may be their franchise guy. And I'm not going to say completely yet.
No, I disagree that I know why he's in there. I disagree with the Browns fans. I know you guys have been wanting that victory. You've been wanting him in. But you know what? Let your older quarterback get beat up first. You know what this kid can do. Don't let him get hurt.
Tell you what, though, a number 1 overall pick, I get it, Diamondback, but the fact is that this is number 1 overall pick, and you're the Cleveland Browns. You went 0-16 last year.
Yep.
You got to do anything you can to spark it. Now, I will agree. I think one of the problems of the Browns in the past has been that they burned through their quarterbacks too fast.
Burned through them. They had no offensive line protecting. I mean, this is the only time you're going to hear me defend Johnny Manziel. But one, he was too cocky, and he got leveled many a times. And that could have been because he was too cocky and his own team couldn't handle him. Look, we're going to let him just scream by us. We don't care.
Right.
Go to my outside. It's going to be wide open because I'm going to think you're going to the inside. Okay.
Right, exactly.
And this was, of course. But now with it being roughing the passer for everything unless you lay a pillow down for him.
Yeah, that's something we might rant about here in a week or two or next week. Who knows? Although I've got my rant lined up for next week. Not getting given away right now.
Yeah, you're right, Killer. Manziel isn't as good as I think. No, I don't have a high for this guy, but I really think he could have done a little bit better if he would have had an offensive line at the time. He was constantly on his back. He was on his back more than Chris Miller was in the 80s with the Falcons.
And that's saying something.
Yes.
So let's look at next week's matchups. Let's pick the games.
All right.
Let's go ahead and pick the games. Once again, folks, we are at hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
So the first game of the week is on Thursday, as always now. This game is on Fox. I'm liking that they're on Fox.
They're Fox and on Amazon Prime.
Yes, Fox and Amazon Prime. The Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots.
Patriots.
I got the Pats as well, and you know I hate to pick the Pats, but
You hate
I
to
think
pick it, but
I think the Pats win, and they've got Julian Edelman back now. I think that's been one of their problems the last couple weeks. They've not had Edelman was on a suspension, and having him back, he's one of Brady's favorite weapons. I think that they'll go to him often, and he'll have a couple touchdowns. Man, I'll tell you what, if you're in fantasy football this year, Edelman's still out there. Pick him up. He's going to get some. I doubt he's still out there. Somebody probably drafted him, knowing, hey, I won't have him for 4 weeks, so what? He'll be back, and Tom loves to throw to him. So I think that. But here we go. Let's get into it right off the bat. First matchup at 1 o'clock on the sheet, just the way it popped up. So we're going to talk about it first.
all right.
Might as well get it out of the way.
The trip to the north.
The Atlanta Falcons, this game is on Sunday, folks. 1 o'clock on Fox. The Atlanta Falcons at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm already writing down your pick for Falcons.
Yeah, that's who it's going to be. That's exactly who it's going to be. And that's because basically you're absolutely right. Pittsburgh Steelers are one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They're not showing up with their defense.
Right.
And eventually, Julio, Ridley, Smith, I'm trying to think of the tight end right now, and right now my mind just went blank. One of them is going to be open.
In all fairness, your defense is not that good either.
Our defense sucks. We're 32nd. We are the bottom of the pile.
Okay.
We are the bottom of the pile.
So we both know this game's going to end in a tie in regulation.
God, I hope not.
So pick a number. 62, 63, 52, 54. What's going to be the number that we go to overtime tied at?
I'll just go. Let's just go 28-28.
And the Steelers could be 1-2-2 when this game's over.
Dude,
So
the Falcons tie.
yeah,
You'll know what my rant's going to be about.
you already know what I'm wearing next week. Man, I'll wear that tie in if we tie this weekend. So yeah, I might wear it with a T-shirt, but I won't wear that tie.
So the fans showing up with ties instead of
Right?
terrible
Yeah,
ties?
yeah. Terrible ties now. Ties now.
Not ties.
We're the tie team.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I did pick the Pittsburgh Steelers because I'm a homer,
Oh,
and we do have to have at least.
Killer saying 35-31 Falcons in regulation.
Okay, yeah, it could happen. Hey, you know what? I'm not very. I told you I'm in this confidence pool now at work,
Yeah.
and I picked the Steelers. I wrote a 1 beside it right off the bat because I'm not confident in this pick at all, as I should not be.
This would be a low point game for me. So
Yeah, I mean, do I think they can win because they're at home? Well, heck yeah, of course they could. Atlanta's not going to be intimidated by the terrible towels. Maybe a little bit at first. It is a daunting sight.
it is. It's in
And it's
Pittsburgh.
freaking.
It's going to take them a little while to go. Unfortunately for you guys, it's still warm weather.
Right.
It's not going to be cold. They
Right.
are a dome team.
That would be a bigger advantage later in the season.
Yeah.
November or December would be a great time for this game.
Because unlike an Alabama kicker, our kicker can kick.
Right.
You know, with the Falcons.
Right.
You know, so
So
because he was nailing some long bombs there during.
I knew we would pick this game differently. Part of the reason I stuck with the Steelers was for that reason. It's hard for me to pick against them, as you know. And I looked at it and I was just like, well, could they win? Yeah, they could win. The only way they're going to win is by outscoring the Falcons.
outscoring them.
They're not going to win with their defense.
And you're not. And
This is not-
as you pointed out, and as I said, you're one-dimensional.
If you
You're
don't,
going to pass.
if you like defense, don't watch this game.
Well, you shouldn't have watched the Falcons game
Right.
with the Bengals.
Don't
Because
ever
I was
watch-
number 32 and number 31
Right.
in defense.
Yeah, that's amazing. How can the Bengals be
That
three?
should not even be a thing.
Right.
That should not be allowed.
So I knew we would disagree on that one. I wanted at least one where, and I think we'll probably have a couple more where we're
I'm sure
different.
we will.
But yeah, I'll stick with my boys. The only time I have, and I almost did it for this reason, the only time I've picked against them, they did win. I picked Tampa Bay, if you remember, and they went to Tampa Bay and won. I should have maybe gone with Pittsburgh that night thinking, oh, it's a Monday night. They're going to win. But then they went home to play in primetime again and couldn't beat the Ravens. So I was just like, no, I got to go with, I have to stick with my boys this time, but it was a tougher pick for me than people think, just because of how bad they're playing.
Okay.
Titans at the Bills. This game's 1 o'clock on CBS.
Titans.
Yeah, me too. I don't even know that this game's worth talking about much longer than that. Nothing against these two teams, but the Titans are a much better team than Buffalo.
I apologize to Shu if you're watching your Bills or the Bills.
It's dead.
But
What are we
yeah,
down to?
no,
4%.
they suck this year.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They are actually worse than the Steelers. Although, here's a team that went to Minnesota and won a few weeks ago. I'm still baffled by that.
Yeah.
How did the Vikings lay down and play dead like that? That makes no sense to me against the Bills. Play down to the level of your opponent is the only thing I could think on that.
Why am I a homer?
Dolphins. Is he calling you a homer?
Killer calling me a homer.
Killer, I'm going to defend Diamondback on this one. First of all, the smart pick is Atlanta. Is that the game he's talking about?
I think that's what he's called.
I mean, it has to be. The smart pick is Atlanta. I'm the homer.
Oh, Iconic is a homer.
Thank you.
Okay.
Iconic is a homer. And Iconic freely admits it. I wanted one game different.
Okay.
I knew you'd take the Falcons. I don't think we're getting together to watch this one. Maybe we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Another game on CBS at 1 o'clock. Dolphins at the Bengals.
Dolphins.
Whoa, we have a second one. I hope you're right on this pick. I hope you're wrong on the other pick. But on this pick, I hope you're right because, of course, that's the divisional opponent for my Steelers. And if we're going to climb back into this thing by some miracle, then we need the Bengals to start losing.
Yeah.
And I hate the Bengals. It's them and the Ravens. I can't stand either one of them. I don't hate the Browns.
Right now, you don't hate the Browns.
Well, no. Even if we were competing with the Browns for the division, I would still rather compete with the Browns than the Bengals or Ravens. And there's reasons for that.
That's how much respect you've lost for the Browns.
No, that's not about respect lost for the Browns. I have to disagree with you, Diamondback. What that's about is that I know it's the exact opposite. I respect the Browns. I respect their fans. To me, this comes down to why do I hate teams? Sometimes because of their fans.
That's a lot of...
Nothing is more irritating than Bengals fans, especially when they start winning.
I don't know. Your Buckeye fans can be a little...
Yeah, but see, I'm a Buckeye fan, so it doesn't affect me. But I'm not a Bengals fan. The only time you hear from a Bengals fan is when they're winning. You don't hear from the Bengals when they're losing.
No, you don't.
And what two teams do you hear from even if they're losing? Steelers and Browns.
Yeah.
Steelers and Browns. Steelers fans are always proud. Doesn't matter. We're losing, okay. I'm still a fan.
Still a fan.
Right. You don't hear from Bengals fans when they're losing. So, let's move on. You've got the Dolphins. I got the Bengals. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. I took the Bengals because they're at home. The Dolphins have been up and down. They did lose last week, but they lost to New England, so you can't really put too much on that. I'll be rooting for the Dolphins in this game, and I'm rooting against my pick. I probably should put low money on this one too, low points on this one too. Yeah, I think that I haven't done my points yet, other than the Steelers. I put a 1 beside it the second I picked them. So, and I thought about this. What if I picked the Falcons? Would I put? Yeah, I'd probably put 5 or 6 on the Falcons.
You probably would upgrade it?
Yeah. That's kind of weird, right? But yeah, I'd probably would have put 5 or 6 points on the Falcons. Anyway, I didn't pick them. Ravens, let's talk about that matchup. Ravens at the Browns.
The what should be 4-0 Browns? That's Killer's pointing out.
Wow. Well, they definitely should have. They definitely did beat the Steelers.
He's just saying that the Browns could have been
11 o'clock.
4-0, and he's taking the Browns. And the Browns are playing who again?
Ravens at the Browns.
Give me the Browns.
Well, there's a third one different. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Browns win. But I'm going to take the Ravens. I just think that this is a team that is better than we thought in the preseason. And they have a lot to prove right now. I just feel that this is a team that is on a mission.
Well, the barn door's open.
Right. I do hope the Browns win. But
For that division, the barn door's open.
well,
It's
thanks
anybody's.
to the Steelers. Okay, Packers at the Lions.
Packers at the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Green Bay.
Yep, I agree. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the Packers will pull it off. Here is an interesting matchup. If you want to see defense versus offense, this is your game. The Jaguars at the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. You taking the
One
Chiefs?
of the two, they're still undefeated. So
You're taking
there's
the
only-
Chiefs?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, me too. I think this is a home field matchup to me. I think these teams are pretty even, but I think the Chiefs have enough, especially at home, to beat them. So I will take the Chiefs as well. So we disagree on 3 so far, even though 2 of them, I hope you're right. Broncos at the Jets.
Broncos and Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Jets suck. Broncos. Even though
Agreed.
they're coming across.
Yeah, and it's a 1 o'clock game, so we're both breaking the rule again. We're both breaking that rule.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Denver's just a better team
Yeah.
than the Jets. I'd be surprised if Denver wakes up at the end of the 4th quarter and says, "Hey, wait a minute, we were just playing a football game and we lost." So I think the Broncos win it. Sorry, Jets, Jets fans. This is a good matchup. The New York Football Giants at the Carolina Panthers.
I don't want to see it, but the Panthers are going to win this.
Yeah, we agree on that one too. I think they win that game. The Raiders at the Chargers. Might disagree on this one. He hates the Raiders.
I'll take the your Superchargers there, but
They're not my Superchargers anymore. They left San Diego.
well, it can't be your Raiders because they're going to go to Las Vegas.
Well, I don't mind the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that sounds perfect.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
But I'm taking the Raiders. The Raiders. I think they get their 2nd win of the year.
Killers put in Lions, Panthers, and Raiders as the 3 games he's chiming in on right now.
Vikings at the Eagles.
I'm going to go with the big bad purple eaters there. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Another disagreement. Good. That's 4. And I took the Eagles. And they're at home. I think the teams are even. So I'll go with the home rule again.
I would put low points on if I was Ravens. I would put low points on that game.
Yeah.
But I don't see that as a bad pick.
I don't think it's a bad pick either way. I don't think that's a bad pick either way. The Vikings went out to L.A. and gave the Rams a good game. And if you can do that against the Rams, you can give the Eagles a good game.
Yeah. Because
So
Vikings, no matter okay, they were all the way out the Raiders, so they haven't even played in their time zone for 2 games.
right. And this could be their
Wow.
3rd loss in a row if they lose this game.
I don't see them losing this one.
No?
And that's why I'm like, it is kind of a gutsy call, but as I said, I put low points on it, but I don't.
I don't think either way is a bad pick on this game.
Yeah.
They're even. They're even. You look at them on paper, they're
And
even.
the only thing it gives.
The Eagles at home.
Yeah, is the Eagles are at home.
Right. The defending Super Bowl champion Eagles.
Oh, good God.
Had to say that again. And the matchup that everybody will pay millions of dollars to watch, the Cardinals at the 49ers.
Yeah,
The matchup that no one should care about this week unless you're a fan of one of these 2 teams. But we have to pick it.
I'm going to go with the black and white team called the Refs. So, where's it at?
It's in San Francisco.
Let's go with the Niners.
Yeah, me too. Wasn't really worth talking about, but
It really is not.
it's on the
I was trying to
matchups.
make it worth it.
The fact is that the NFL had it scheduled, and we have to pick it. The Rams at the Seahawks.
Rams at the Seahawks. Rams.
Yeah, me too. I think that, the Legend of Boom is done, especially with our boy Earl being out, and I just think they're in trouble. And the Rams have reignited the best show on turf. If you remember the St. Louis Rams from years back, this LA Rams team is the best show on turf all over again. They're amazing. That offense is incredible. Jared Goff's amazing. I freaking love watching that kid play. This Sunday night matchup, Killers Cowboys, going across the state to play the Houston Texans. Who you got?
Come on, Killer. Who do you got? I gotta see who Killer got.
He's not gonna like my pick. Although he picks against his team. He's less of a homer than we are.
Definitely less than you.
Thanks. I admit it freely. I am
He's taking
homer.
the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with the Texans.
Yeah, that's who I have, the Texans. I just think at home, it should be a good game. It really should. I think that, this is one of those Texans at home that kind of want to be like, we want to be the best team in the state. Football's huge in Texas. And, I just think the Texans will win at home. I love watching Zeke play, though. Being a Buckeye fan, I'll go out of my way to watch the Cowboys just to watch Zeke. Guy's awesome. Anyway, now for your Monday night matchup.
Oh.
The Redskins. Bob's Redskins at the Saints. I know who you want.
What I want is Bob's Redskins to win that game.
Of course you do. But who you picking? Oh, come on. Take the Redskins. We need a fifth game. Because I got the Saints. Of course, it is in New Orleans.
That's the thing.
It's a tiebreaker.
It's New Orleans. You know what? Let's see. Killer's chiming in here real quick. That's fine. If it happened.
No, we're just
like
going to close. Say
last
goodnight.
week, then the Cowboys will win since you both picked against them. Okay.
He's probably right. Cowboys will probably go in there and just destroy him, and we'll come in next Wednesday and go, I don't know. George. What happened?
I'm going to go ahead and get the show back on. He's taking the Redskins, and I'm going to go ahead and go with him and go with the Redskins on that one.
Well, at least we have 5 difference, so that's an odd number. We won't end with the same record this week, which is a good thing. I did take the Saints. They're at home. I do think the Saints are a better team than the Skins.
I think so, too. Drew Brees is...
But I know it's
Especially
picking against your
at home.
division, too. That helps you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that...
And the Falcons will need help after that loss to Pittsburgh the day before.
You know what? What was that?
If the Steelers win, I get to brag so bad, Diamondback, because first of all, it's an upset pick, number one. And yeah, I'm being a homer, but even though I'm being a homer, I still get to brag because the Falcons are supposed to win. You don't even get to say anything. If the Falcons win, all you can say is, we did what we were supposed to do. And that's it in the conversation. And I will say the Steelers suck, and life will go on. See, you won't even get any satisfaction out of that win by the Falcons if they win on Sunday. That's horrible. That's a horrible feeling, I'm sure. Nonetheless, she'll still take the win.
You know what? I hope we tie just to piss it off.
If we tie, that'd be great. The Pittsburgh Tires. So, anyway, we are going to go ahead and close the show now. It's like my least favorite time of the week, but, it is after 11, and, we did the show late tonight. No rants. Rants will be back next week. So excited I did a little mini rant on the Cubs not making the playoffs due to the stupidity of the Major League Baseball doing a one-game playoff. A one-game playoff after 162 games. Oh, here's a good idea. Let's make them have a long-distance run all year. And then at the end of the year, it's a sprint. Stupid dumbasses. Anyway, how do you really feel, Iconic?
I just want to let you know, even though my size says something completely different, I was a very skinny individual. I ran track in high school.
I know. I've known you for over 20 years, Diamondback.
So with that being said,
we've flipped. We know this.
Yes, me and him has flipped in size. When
which I'm okay with.
Running track in high school, I ran distance, and when you run distance, it is a sprint the last 100 yards. It's not as fast as a sprint as running 100 dash. However, it's still as much gas as you got left.
The point is, though, that baseball was never meant to be a sprint. Even the regular playoffs, the best of 7, that's not a sprint. That's still a long-distance race compared to other sports, like football, for example.
Let's know what our bet is between us this week.
We probably don't have one.
We don't have one.
Well, we might come up with something.
You know what? We're gonna have to start.
I think that the bet should be, well, this won't work. Never mind. I was thinking of an interesting bet, but I don't think it'll work. I mean, I could always. Let's put it this way: the Steelers aren't going to win. We both know this. Iconic is totally jumping out on a limb and totally being a homer. There's no way the Steelers are going to win this game. In fact, the game is in Pittsburgh. They should all stay at their houses instead of going to the stadium because that would be less embarrassing. But
the team or
the team.
Oh, okay.
The team.
I didn't know if you was talking
about Ben, take the day off. Stay home, enjoy your kids and wife. I mean,
join Adrian, watch the game.
Why go hang out with Le'Veon? Anyway,
Le'Veon Bell. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with that. But the bet will be this: if the Falcons win, Iconic will wear a Falcons jersey. But Diamondback will provide during the NFL segment, during the entire NFL segment. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers somehow miraculously win, Diamondback will have a terrible towel on his shoulder during the entire segment.
I don't know if dude, my jersey I bought is going to look like a dress on me.
That's okay. It's only one segment.
Because I only got one.
You should have seen last year when Cass had to wear this ridiculously small jersey.
Killer says boring.
Well, it's okay. It's boring. What's Killer want us to do? Killer, chime in with something if you got a bet for us. Nonetheless, let's wrap up the show while he's doing that.
Sure.
So next week, we're going to have all the exciting stuff, the rants, college football, pro football, the bumpers, everything that we normally do. And Diamondback and I haven't talked about this yet, but it's okay. I'm the Iconic Drew. I'll just throw it out there. Next week, we are going to talk about any rule changes that the National Hockey League has brought into effect and make our predictions for what teams will make the playoffs in the National Hockey League.
Whoa. This is going to be a stretch, folks, because I know absolutely squat.
He's got a week. He'll be okay. So, with that being said, I am the Iconic Drew.
I'm the Diamondback.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us this week on Ferocious Money Productions present the Iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. As always,
enjoy.
See you next week.
Okay.
Is this
Steelers win. Diamond has to introduce his own rant. Wow.
Oh, hey, I like that one.
Falcons win. Iconics wears the jersey for an hour.
An hour? I ain't wearing that thing for an hour. You're lucky to get me through one segment. Okay, that's back on. I will be right back because I got to go take care of Iconic Drew business. That thing throws me off.
Drives me nuts.
We didn't get a phone call tonight. didn't that bastard call in?
Hey, baby, what you doing?
Killer. Why didn't he call in?
I don't know.
I don't know what you said right there, but that sounds real good.
Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Oh, really? I am too. What
It's
you
been a short
listening
show,
to
but
right now?
hey,
Pillow Talk.
I don't know where you-
with DJ Quiet Storm.
yeah, no, it wasn't you. It's
That sounds real good.
the
Why don't you
thing
come
not
on
popping
over?
up.
We can listen
Anyways,
to
as I was
this
saying, I
thing
just got sidetracked there, seeing him running in the background. Anyways, everybody have a good one, and as always, enjoy. Oh, that's the wrong mouse. Let's use the right mouse.